Hello and welcome back. Matthew here again with the Nations Cup round 8. This is not the Superstar race, this is the race beforehand. Most of the Superstar drivers will turn up here and get a practice race in before they commit. And as you can see, the top 7 were all Mazdas. I decided to run in the Nissan just because I thought it was a lot more fun. Actually, my strategy was that because they had so much more pace down the straight, if I could get past a few Mazdas and get out ahead, I would miss the melee of Mazdas all trying to grab the same bit of track. So as a Nissan, you're not really held up by the Mazdas in the corners, and the straights are that long, you're going to blast past them anyway if you're anywhere near them. After a couple of laps, everything sort of stagnates, and then the Nissan drops back a little bit with its tyre wear. But they're both very similar for overall race pace. The Mazda is probably the better car, almost definitely the better car, but only by a second or two from what I've seen for overall race pace. The fastest Mazda driver I've seen did a 15-minute 21 race over 9 laps. Just turn that off. Oh, it is off. You're right on board with me. So I stuffed up qualifying, did a 38.6. I had no draft. My fast flying lap, I was held up in the middle of the chicane by a slower Mazda driver, which was fine, they had the lead, and I messed it up. So my second flying lap on worn tyres, I managed to do a 38.6. So 8th I started, and this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. I'd be able to get past maybe 3. I was hoping for 3. So got past 1. Into the draft with Bass, and I end up beside him in a head, and I try to take the inside for this corner. I thought I might get past him, like maybe if he broke earlier. Bass undercuts me, which was really nicely done. Little bump on the way through here, but that was no harm, no foul. Schnick in the other Nissan's gotten to gain 3 places and is behind me. I go around the outside of Bass through here. I knew the car was a lot faster through this part. It was the following sector that I couldn't be behind. I couldn't have a Mazda ahead of me because then they'd pull away. I had a decent run through that corner. I was a bit worried with the draft. I was taking it a bit easier, and just hoping that the Mazdas had the pace through these corners, because GDX doesn't normally qualify this high up, so I was afraid he might hold me up a bit. So he did a really good job in qualifying, and so did CRR Blitz, just to roll those R's for you. So Charlie Roscoe Racing Blitz also nailed his qualifying, ended up 3rd. Bit of a hustle and bustle here. He come back across in front of me. I was glad he didn't spin out into the barrier. Gave me a bit of breathing room, and I got a lovely draft. Kinemos obviously picked up a penalty early on, so he dropped back from the lead. He qualified first with a 35.5, I believe. And because of that early draft, and then where these two were placed, Nick McCosey was saving fuel. Not that I knew that at this stage, but I blitzed him. Whoa. That's why I picked the Nissan. Because now I was out ahead. I could not believe that. 8 drivers, 8 positions, 7 positions really, isn't it? Good math. In the first lap. I was laughing through those corners. I couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. I knew I was on a 1-stopper. I don't think this car would have, even if you could save the fuel in it, I don't think the car was good for a no-stopper. The tyre wear was too harsh. So it was just flat out pace. So damn good. So damn good. This car and track combo was brilliant fun. And I was really happy that, because I thought heading into it there would just be one dominant car, but the Nissan was good enough to compete quite handily with the Mazdas. So I'm glad you kind of got 2 strategies going into the race, And in theory you could have 3, because you've got Mazdas that can no stop, Mazdas that 1 stop, or the Nissan that 1 stops. So it made it very interesting. Schnick unfortunately picked up a 5-second penalty and drops back. It would have been great having him there. He may have been a bit of a rear guard and held up the guys behind. So I just had to put on the pace and pull away as fast as I could. And that's what I tried to do. So start of lap 4. Just going to watch a couple of Mazdas behind. Blitz was doing a good job in second, holding up Mikosi quite nicely. Mikosi wasn't too bothered because looking at his fuel, not that you can see it yet, he was saving it. He was doing a no-stopper. And I guess that made sense. Thinking about the strategies, if everybody was going the Mazda, if you tried to run as fast as you can, as fast as you could, then you're going to end up tripping over each other and drafting each other down straights and getting in each other's ways. So if you save the fuel while hanging on to the guys doing a 1-stop, then that was the best chance in the Mazda. And because there was such a cluster of them, Mikosi pulled it off quite nicely. But that's also how my strategy came into play, because I was running a car which was just designed to go past the Mazdas and as far away as possible. And because I was out on my own, I was able to run my own race and not get into the mess that were multiple Mazdas holding each other up. Which, there were some very fast drivers that got caught up in the mess and got held up and couldn't get ahead because of it. Because like Kenemos qualified first, sitting in third. He's currently 3 or 4 seconds behind me. No, it's not that far at this stage. Probably 3 seconds behind. Doing a 1-stop and being held up by a slower driver. Although at this stage he's saving a bit of fuel just for his stop, so he doesn't have to fill up as much. So just halfway through lap 5, just doing a check. You see my fuel and tyre usage. The Nissan was very efficient on fuel for a flat out run. The Mazda's going flat out without fuel saving. They would burn about 6% more than the Nissan, roughly. But they could quite handily save their fuel a bit easier than the Nissan. The Nissan lost a lot of pace trying to save fuel. But going back, that's the advantage of the Mazdas, is the tyre wear. They just hold on to their tyres. That's why I got my 5th lap out of the way now, because I had a decent lead. I thought I could just go another lap, get my 5th lap out of the way now, and carry on. Just do a 4-lap stint at the end. Mikosi with decent fuel. Sodog doing a 1-stopper. Blitz and Schnickerman, and Schnick just beat him into the pits. That was a cool race. Everybody jumping in, apart from Nick Mikosi. And where's Mint? So Mint currently 11th. Oh, and he goes for a no-stopper. Mint GDR, he qualified last. I don't know if he was held up or hit or what in qualifying, but he qualified dead last. Currently cruising along in 7th. It's a really good effort. He had some serious pace in that car. Serious pace. I'd almost forgotten about Car Bass. He was ahead of me at the start, and we had a bit of a battle into turn 1 and 2, which was good and clean, and then through 3 and 4. But he fell way off the pace, and I see lap 2, he did a 48. So he was saving fuel from the start, just looking at how much fuel he's got left. A little bit less than Mikosi, saving his tyres a bit better than Mikosi. But that second lap has just cost him too much time. And so I cruised up on the back of him quite quickly. And with this thing, relatively easy pass. It's nuts in the draft. 372 Ks it can hit, or is the highest I've hit. Just great fun to drive. And with the lighter fuel load, new tyres, the car feels really good around here. Really, really nice. Heading into the final lap. I'm about 5 seconds behind Makosi. When I came out of the pits, I was approximately 14 seconds behind him. He was only 3 or 4 when I hit the pits. So 18, 16, 17, 18 second stop. It was just not enough of a gap. Considering if I hadn't started 8th, maybe I could have made a difference. Not having that early battle through the field, which wasn't overly difficult, but early on the first few corners held me up a bit. And obviously starting in 1st or 2nd versus 8th, you were inherently got a 2-second advantage anyway. So maybe if I hadn't stuffed qualifying, may have been able to challenge Makosi a bit more. But that's a tall order on any day. He's a very quick driver. So he remains about 5 seconds ahead. I didn't drive this lap particularly well. Kenemos behind was a second and a half, and he pulls up right behind me, actually going into this hairpin. But the Nissan has a straight line speed and easily maintains my position in 2nd. Sidog started 9th, up to 4th, which is a good effort, and Mint, the big mover from last on the grid, 18th, up into 5th on a nose stopper, which is really, really good driving. But overall, just a nuts race. Great fun, great combo, loved every minute of it. Would do it again in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, the Superstars race did not go ahead. It got disconnected, or the lobby server, something failed. Nobody could connect to it, so the Superstars race for Oceania did not go ahead for Nations Cup, which was a real shame. That would have been a blast to do. I got decent points from this one, so I decided not to do any more rounds tonight. 2150 I believe, which was pretty good for my position in the championship, so I was pretty happy with that result, coming home in 2nd. Would have been fun to try and challenge the top again, but these things happen, and it's better that everybody didn't get a chance rather than some people getting a chance and others missing out. So thank you all for watching, thank you for coming along. We'll do this again next week, Wednesday, with the next round of Nations Cup. Thank you and goodbye, good night, toodaloo.